Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This week we're doing the new release, 7 Psychopaths, made in 2012, and we bring you movie news at the end of the program. This week we have the gruesome twosome, Ryan Preston and Jonathan Charney. Like I said in the opening, this week we're doing the new movie, 7 Psychopaths, and Ryan, what's this movie about?
Well, this movie basically revolves around a struggling writer in L.A., European writer. I feel like I should mention that.
Australian.
Lives in Los Angeles. He's a Hollywood writer, really behind on his scripts, and then through the idiocracy of his friends, inadvertently gets involved pretty deep in the criminal underworld vis-a-vis stealing a dog.
I'd love to mention this has two of my favorite actors, as Colin Farrell, who I've always been a big Colin Farrell fan ever since that horrible movie American Outlaws.
Right. Oh yeah, and then I'm sure we all tried to forget Daredevil.
Oh shit!
Yep, see?
Wow. Oh, that's right. He had that giant bullseye in his head from a Mercedes.
For reminding you of it.
Yeah, thanks. And it has Christopher Walken, who generally makes any movie either really weird or funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a step further and say I'm gonna sub Colin Farrell for Woody Harrelson. I've been a fan of that dude since White Men Can't Jump.
I'll agree. I really loved him, and what was it? The Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers with Juliette Lewis.
Yeah.
Actually got her an Academy Award, I think, for that role. But damn, that was a good movie.
Wow. We're gonna have to do that at some point. I got to add that to my list. So I'm gonna jump in here. One of the things I noticed was the color palette. This has almost semi-pastel color palette. Everything's very bright, very poppy.
Yeah, trying to set the scene of the sunny Los Angeles.
Yeah, instead of the burning sunlight that it actually is.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Instead of the nobody ever shows the sidewalk in L.A. That's what always cracks me up. Everybody has this image of the streets paved with gold, so to speak, and
instead of the heart,
more like stepped on gum. But
instead of the heartbreak and disappointment, it's really paved in.
Right.
The other thing, like I said before, is I love Christopher Walken in this movie. Normally he plays these wacky characters, but I actually liked his character in this movie. This is the first time I've seen him in a movie in probably 5 or 6 years. I was like, I could actually connect to him as a character, unlike that weird ping pong movie.
Yeah, no, that was bizarre. What was that? Balls of Fury?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was a bizarre. That was him as a parody of himself, but he already is sort of a parody of himself when he's doing the serious roles. You know what I mean? He's playing.
So it's Christopher Walken playing a parody of a parody.
Yeah, that was Balls of Fury. This one is just kind of going a step backwards to your average Christopher Walken. But I liked the idea that he was kind of this. I don't know if he was. Well, obviously they went into his backstory a little bit, but kind of had that little bit of a gangster sort of a mentality. When he's. Scene when he was,
especially when he's like, "No effing cops."
Right. Well, that, and then when he was tough talking the mirror or something in
the mirror
towards the opening of the movie. I can't remember where exactly he was, but he was like practicing the tough talk to somebody.
Okay, I don't remember that for some reason.
Okay.
The other thing, the characters in this movie are really well written. Unlike some movies of this genre, the characters in this is... I don't know whether to say this is a script-driven movie or a character-driven movie, but both fit really well, because this movie was really well written, and it was actually funny, which is not something I've said about a Hollywood movie in a long time.
Right. I was actually kind of really curious after watching this what you were going to be thinking about it, because I know you're not notoriously against comedies, but you're pretty picky when it comes to your comedies. And this one definitely... is the gallows humor, dark comedy, to a T. And I completely agree with what you said about the writing. This is a writer's movie. You can tell. Well, the guy that directed it also wrote it,
which helps because he had a vision for it.
Yeah, maintained a little of the creative control, etc. It didn't seem too stepped on by Hollywood type of ideas. The average type of script notes that they seem to chuck into. To every movie like this. I think they realized right off the bat that this was kind of quirky and kind of specifically quirky to this guy, this writer. and it was a story that needed to be told his way.
The thing I didn't look up, and I should have, because I just thought of it actually. Was this a big Hollywood money? Like, do they put a ton of money in it? Is this a low budget?
I don't think so. I think they put more into the advertising than anything else. Because I mean, you could tell the effects were a little bit, not a whole lot of visual. Like
what effects?
I mean, they went. That's what I'm saying. Well, like with the car blowing up, you can tell a little bit of the CG, placement with the gun. Muzzle flash coming out of a lot of the weapons, it kind of tips towards the cheaper side of CG, but it still played, so it didn't matter.
Which I have to say, I sorry to cut you off. I like a movie that's not completely CG. Like we were talking before the show started with the movie Battleship, that was basically all CG.
Right, yeah, it's almost a showcase of what they could do with green screen and blue screen.
Exactly. It's a perfect example, actually. This movie is more of that actors, pay attention to the actors, as my background goes crazy on me.
This shouldn't take you out of the story. We're just doing enough to move it forward and not get, drawn down on all the crazy power techniques.
They want you to focus just on the characters. And I have to say, I'm picky on comedies because I just don't like stupid comedies.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So many of them are Hollywood cookie cutter type of stories. With the whole. It seems like there's an algorithm that with comedy scripts that somewhere at the third, second to third act, there's that moment that kind of grabs your little heartstrings, and you kind of feel the thing for the characters, and it's like an 80s action movie where the last 10 seconds of fight, you hear that the character goes, "I can do it," and the slow motion happens, and I mean it's the same thing. It's the inserted, heartfelt moments to the one-liner comedy kind of stuff.
It's like, I've seen the first Hangover, I thought was entertaining, but it's like that came out. There were 3 or 4 movies like that. Another one came out. I'm done with dumb humor. Because as an adult, it doesn't interest me.
But what I was going to say before is I think they took the money that would have otherwise went towards the production budget and threw it into advertising, because this was a pretty heavily advertised movie for kind of a small opening. Like I don't think it opened as huge as most of the other ones like this. I mean, obviously I'm here in LA, so I mean everything open somewhere around here. I
have to say, though, I didn't hear. The only reason why I heard about this movie was from James a couple of months ago. He did his movie news, and he mentioned that.
Yeah, you know what? I kept seeing a ton of TV spots for it, which was shocking once I looked it up and realized the director. I mean, this guy's done a couple of shorts and like a couple of things like in UK. I think he's worked with Colin Farrell before on some indie project, but a relatively no-name guy, kind of, like I think somebody just got the script and some production company, just kind of sort of took the chance on him. Which is awesome, because I love the movie. I have to say that I didn't see a lot of TV spots, but, having a DVR, I don't watch a lot of commercials these days. It's very true. Yeah. Which is bad for the business I'm in, actually. Yeah, but it's okay. You're not swayed by the clever advertising, True. Matter of fact, clever advertising is generally farther make me not want to see the movie. Well, I mean, just the general advertising schemes. The other question, the other one I have is just a question for you. The bunny carrying psychopath. Is there any more tie-in to the movie about him? Like, was Christopher Walken's wife? Was that her? Okay, see, that's I kind of had that question too. Like, it sort of had a lot of parallels to their stories, but I don't think so. I think it was just luck of the draw. Yeah, I think so. But it seems bizarre for this kind of movie where you would see that kind of thing and think that it has something to do with something else. Because she didn't have that guy really didn't have any backstory. I mean, it did, but it seemed it didn't have a tie-in like everybody else seemed to. Yeah, I don't. But it didn't. At the same time, seem like it was going to go for some kind of a weird twist, or something like that. Because that's the only thing that I could think is, somehow, that I don't know. But it was just, I think it was just sort of a weird character choice to give them both black wives, because then that started to confuse people. Because I have to admit, I was really hoping it was going to be that, that was her, because I thought that would have been a great tie-in. Oh, where she was the
bunny carrying
psychopath killer also, but
yeah,
he never knew kind of thing.
Yeah, she just happened to like really crazy guys. I mean,
right? Yeah.
But
that was definitely never explained.
The other one was, I've seen movies similar to this in the 90s, and I can't place it. I don't know.
You know what? The only thing I was sort of likening it to was, but it was just more the style of the dark comedy was Very Bad Things. It's just sort of, like it's halfway decent ensemble cast with with one small thing, one small mistake comes this insane, myriad of incidents that F's with everybody.
Because this undertone and the way the video, the coloring is, God, there's just another movie from the 90s. I'm almost thinking it involving drugs, but it's not Pulp Fiction. But
I know what you mean. It will somehow it really did nail that 90s LA sort of vibe, and I think like you said, the color has a lot to do with it, or just the style that it was shot in, because it definitely seemed to have that old school Los Angeles. Like you don't see that type of Los Angeles shot anymore.
All they need is some sort of hip record store, and they'd hit all the antithesis of most 90s movies. But what about you, Ryan? Because those are all my points that I noticed.
Well, man, I almost completely agree with you. Like I really love the cast. I love the characters. Like I said, it was a writer's movie, so you really. I think if anything, though, the only thing bad I could say about it is a couple of the scenes got a little long-winded. Just I think due to the writerness, quality of it. Because writers write, and they're gonna write, monologues
like the peyote scene
that they have.
Like the peyote scene was kind of, after a while, it was kind of like, seriously, dude?
Yeah, but I love the fact that they did peyote. That was every time where you start to see this movie sort of leading into kind of a predictable place or a boring place, and it just makes these fucking weird left turns. He's like, no, I take peyote. And I'm just like, did he freaking say peyote, man?
Yeah, not weed, not anything else, but peyote. It's like,
right,
that's an odd stylistic choice.
Oh man, yeah, but a couple of monologues, couple of expositions on a couple of the characters' parts that went a little, probably could have been cut a little short on a couple of them. But these are small quibbles that I had with an otherwise freaking entertaining movie, and especially with something like this, like what I take into account when I go to a theater like this is the movie going experience. You know what I mean? Like I sit at home and watch a lot of movies, rent DVDs and Netflix and things like that. And they're entertaining movies for whatever they're worth, but you go see a serious movie in a movie theater and it's sometimes not as good of a movie going experience as something like this, which just sort of drives you along, takes you on sort of this wacky, absurdist journey.
It's kind of like, I guess the closest thing I could describe it for me would be like when the first Lord of the Rings came out. It's the adventure. You're looking forward to seeing it with a group full of people.
Right.
And it's just, you're just like, I can't wait. Instead of like, because right. I've seen movies like that in the theaters. It's just kind of like, is it over with yet?
Right.
And,
yeah, exactly. How long did they say this movie was again? That's, okay, we're only halfway through.
Yeah, like The Warrior.
Right, like The Warrior. Hey.
And I liked that movie.
I know, right? Anyway, all the characters, like I like these movies where you're sort of watching 4 or 5 different stories go on at once, and they all have some outside thing to do with each other, and then everybody sort of comes together at the end for the big final thing, and everything ties together. Those are always kind of fun to follow, and if they're done properly, then all of these different characters, the 7 psychopaths, or even just the ancillary characters whose stories you're watching, you want to know what's happening with every one. So at the end of one person's scene, you're like, oh, but wonder what's happening with this, and then there's always sort of something that you're wanting to look forward to as far as the next scene is concerned. And that definitely helps, obviously a lot, with just the pacing of everything. You're really just right there with it.
My only thought during the whole thing is the guy had like 20 packs of playing cards, and he didn't matter to throw them away.
Yeah.
That was the one thing. It's like, if you're psycho enough, why, and you just want one card, what's the reason to keep the other 30 decks?
Yeah. I guess all psychopaths can't be the guy from 7. you know.
Seriously.
Going as far as cutting fingerprints off and things.
And the other thing is, how many did he have in his pocket? Because he just kept like throwing them out every couple of minutes. It's like, seriously, dude? Go to Vegas with that type of trick.
Yeah, really.
Overall, I really loved this movie. It was it's been one of the best experiences I think I've had in the theaters in a long time.
Yeah.
And generally, I don't know if we've probably said in the past, but generally, the new release movies in the theaters is something we all try to agree on. Like I said last week or the week before that, this is one of the few that we've actually said, I want to see it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is one that we were all looking forward to. Well, I mean, you see this kind of cast, and there's been ensemble casts before that have sort of, made you open your eyes. But something like this, Sam Rockwell's one of my favorite comedic actors. That dude has done no wrong.
That was
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind is freaking brilliant movie.
Sam Rockwell, is that the Diamond guy?
The Jack of Diamonds, yeah.
I knew. Okay, now I know why I recognized him the whole time. Like, I know this cat.
West.
Yeah.
And have you seen Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, directed by George Clooney?
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, George Clooney, Sam Rockwell, Drew Barrymore. He was the Chuck Barris, the guy who created the Gong Show story.
That's right. That's right.
I think it was George Clooney's directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken. Also, anyway, so I love Sam Rockwell from that kind of stuff. So I know he's into this sort of dark comedy stuff. Then you got Chris Walken, Woody Harrelson, all people who really, I mean, they could take any kind of script that comes along. When they all come together, that's sort of a sign to me like they all read the script, they all saw something in it, they all saw a character that they were like, I gotta play this guy.
I love Woody Harrelson's crazy characters. The Natural Born Killers. His character there was actually reminds me very similar. You okay there? It's very, to me, the Natural Born Killer there. The characters are a little similar to me. They're both kind of crazy, characters.
Yeah. His character in Natural Born Killers was it was awesome to say the least. Mickey. And it did have that's some similarities to that kind of like Psychopaths, but this one was much more of his
amusing,
way more amusing, and then you have this awesome sensitive side with his dog.
I love the gun,
and then only a reaction like Woody Harrelson can give when he starts weeping over his dog. And he still maintains that psychopath look. God, I love that guy. I love the gun. It jammed again. Wait, you're gonna kill this guy and the gun jams? Why not get a new gun? I love the grips. Yeah, I love the grips. I love the scene with the woman from Precious, the dog walker.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The black lady.
That was so funny.
Oh God. Overall. Oh God, don't make me laugh. Overall, I'm giving this movie a really, really strong 3 out of 5. I think I accomplished everything that I believe it set out and more so. I don't know why I can't give this a 4 for some reason, but it's a super strong 3. I think it's a must-see. What about you, Ryan?
You know what? Okay, I'm agreeing with you on your points. The thing that's going to make this a 4 for me is the repeat watch factor. I think I'm going to be able to watch this movie a couple more times, and just this might turn into one of those. I'm bored. I'll throw on 7 Psychopaths. For a few months. And
so it's going to be like so that's going to be yours because mine's more like the Shawshank Redemption stuff like that. I can watch 1,000 times. Yeah,
there's movies I could watch anytime. If that's on cable, I don't care if it's halfway through. I'm finished watching that movie. But this one, I sort of look for these movies where I can. Like remember it fondly and be like, oh, I'll check that out again because there are things to notice, after seeing it the first time. And, but yeah, I love these kinds of dark comedies. As you know me, dude, I have a gallows sense of humor.
See, I like this type of dark comedy. I'm not a big fan of the meet the parents awkward type of. I don't like that at all. I
agree with you more. I as soon as I just start feeling that kind of uncomfortableness with what the character's doing, it's like, dude, first of all, a human being wouldn't even do that, Ben Stiller.
Well, he's a whole separate.
As far as sympathy is concerned, now I just feel weird watching you, f up this entire movie. Yeah, I can't get into that kind of stuff.
No, and I think we all three, James, Ryan, and I, have all had the same distaste for 99.9% of anything Ben Stiller's ever done.
Right. Well, the major redeeming factor being obviously Tropic Thunder.
I have yet to see it, so.
Oh, blasphemy.
That's why I haven't seen it. So I guess to get into the movie news, what Ryan and I are going to do is, since it's the new release, it's the new release movie. Ryan and I picked a couple of our favorite news stories for movies, across the web this week, and the first one I noticed is RoboCop drives a crotch rocket.
Of course he does.
No longer drives a car. Now he's on this heavily modified, solid black, rattle can black motorcycle.
Well, we can only hope that his cyborg body is able to mechanically attach itself and become part of the bike and then, ride around in some kind of awesome configuration. I doubt that's going to happen.
The one I'm looking for, interesting, is if you actually take a look, he has one human hand.
Right, I noticed that too. And it seems like he has most of his face still. Didn't they F his face up in the first one?
Well, the first one, he actually had his entire face. Not that he didn't have the back of his head, but he had it up to like here. So he had his full face, but he had that helmet where you couldn't see it.
Yeah, this one seems to be more like just some kind of an average helmet with a big visor.
I'm expecting it like to tilt up and you see the whole head of hair,
Right.
The other one that I just noticed this today, Iron Man 3 teaser trailer's out.
Yep, I saw that too. I didn't actually see the trailer, but I saw that it was there.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited. This one apparently has the Mandarin.
That's what they were teasing as of a couple of years ago after the second one.
And a really weird version of Iron Patriot.
Oh, really?
It looks like, I don't know if it's Iron Patriot, or if it's War Machine or whatever, but he's supposed to be in that.
Well, I know that obviously they've been teasing War Machine since, even the last one. And I think everybody was hoping that, they'd start teaming up as the old duo again.
That would be interesting. But
but I think that people have enough faith in the franchise, and I think the filmmakers have enough knowledge of that faith that they're not going to let it be, go too far down the sequel crap hole.
Luckily, I think since Marvel is owned by Disney, and if there's anybody who can pull stuff similar to canon without goofing it up too much, I think it's Disney.
They've had kind of an amazing track record as of recently. Even with their mainstream type of movies, which obviously they used to put out a lot more of back in the day. Everything was Disney. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, nobody would have ever known that was Disney.
Hocus Pocus is the one that always surprises me.
Swiss Family Robinson.
Great movie.
Yeah, Disney. Go figure. But I completely lost my train of thought with this.
Oh, well, I can go on my last bit of news if you want.
What were we just talking about? For crying out loud.
Oh, Iron Man 3.
I was going to say that Disney's had a great track record, especially with Pixar recently. When they team up with them, they don't seem to be going after, like a really specific child market. They're going after, like a real wide audience. And they definitely have the money to do it.
Yeah, exactly. The last one is, it looks like DC is going to go ahead and do Justice League movie.
Oh, okay. Did they give a date?
I was thinking 2015. I was thinking 2015, but I might. I've been reading so many movie news trying to figure out which one I liked.
So, did they give a hint towards any of the characters at all, like what they were going to do as far as lead-in movies, or?
It looks like they got permission with Superman.
Okay, that makes sense.
The ones I don't know is what was it? J.J. Abrams. Somebody was doing a Superman movie. I don't remember which one.
Right, God, I can't remember his name either. But he's the one that just did he's doing the Man of Steel.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's going to be the one that's going to start the whole tie-in process.
I'm thinking it's going to. My question: are they going to have Ryan Reynolds as the Green Lantern?
Look, it wasn't his fault that movie sucked. They could use him again just as the recognizable character. It was the writing, dude. Look, I've seen him do well. I've seen him do things similar to that, and It wasn't all his fault.
I really, really want to disagree with you, but unfortunately, I can't. I'd love to hate Ryan Reynolds, but I actually kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
I'd actually want to see him do a Deadpool movie, just with nothing related to his version of the Deadpool.
Sure.
But those are the three stories that really, really stuck out to me.
Okay, well, for my couple of things, I don't know why I always bring you disturbing news, but here it goes again.
The gruesome twosome.
You're familiar with Dr. Alex Cross, aren't you? Name ring a bell?
No, actually.
Alex Cross was the character from Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider, played by Morgan Freeman.
Okay, yeah.
Two pretty damn fine, thriller movies, from an era when thriller movies were amazing. Mid-90s, mid to late 90s, they really nailed the whole thriller genre. Brace yourself. Tyler Perry is going to be revising that role as Dr. Cross.
As Medea?
Yeah, that guy.
No. I mean, is he going to be doing Dr. Cross as Medea?
Huh?
Is he going to be doing the doctor dressed in the full regalia?
Oh man, I don't know. It couldn't be any worse.
True.
But the only saving grace of this is he's not writing it. Thank God.
Who's writing it?
I don't know who it's written by specifically, but I know Rob Cohen is directing it, and he's the one that did the original Fast and Furious. I think he did Triple X, and I know he did Dragonheart back in the day. The Dennis Quaid flick that was...
Okay, I like all those movies, but not exactly a shining record.
Fast and Furious, you can't defend as a good movie. You can like some of the camp and cheeseballness of it, but terrible fucking movie. Triple X, equally terrible, but, entertainingly terrible. Like, it's just funny to watch that kind of a train wreck of a movie. Dragonheart is the only one I get behind.
I'll agree with that.
Just a pretty entertaining flick. Maybe because I was, 12 when I saw it.
You youngin'.
Oh, and he also did Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, which might be his only saving grace for me.
I'll agree with that. That was a good movie.
Yeah. And that was the one that was the actual movie, wasn't it? Not the biograph. I
thought that was the biopic.
Well, it was a biopic, but it wasn't. It was like an actual movie.
Yeah. It wasn't a documentary. I think it was the legitimate movie.
There was a documentary done with a similar name.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I think that was the actual movie biopic.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, you remember the flick Old Boy, right?
The what?
The Old Boy?
No.
It was the, I think it was Korean? I don't remember now. Anyway, it was done by Park Chan-wook in 2005, and it was a really kind of an instant classic as far as martial arts films are concerned. Basically, they kidnapped this guy, and then just basically keep him in prison for something like 12 years or something like that, or 7 years, and then just one day just let him go. And it's sort of like this revenge tale. But Spike Lee is actually remaking it for 2013, which is weird. Somewhat makes sense. I mean, because one, it's a foreign movie, so not a lot of people know about it too much. But 2005, and it was a really popular martial arts movie. So anybody who's going to see the remake knows about the original. It just seems kind of soon to remake sort of thing.
Two thoughts. You said Spike Lee?
Spike Lee, yeah. And I guess Sam Jackson's in the cast. I didn't get a chance to see who else.
Not a big fan of Spike Lee, personally. Matter of fact, I couldn't tell you a movie of his I actually like.
Yeah, not off the top of my head.
The other thing is it sounds like an Asian version of the Count of Monte Cristo.
Sort of, with absolutely no explanation of his kidnapping or release.
Okay, so it's pretty much, except for that. Yeah.
And no fortune.
Oh, that sucks.
And then the other one that slightly disturbed me, and this is going to be obviously one of those where we're going to have to see how this plays out, if it even comes out in the first place, but there's a possible adaptation of Zelda coming out. Speculative dates we're talking 2014, but... Yeah, somebody might make Zelda movie.
I'll have to be completely honest. Being of the generation when Zelda came out, I was never a big Zelda fan, and I'd never had the chance to actually play any of the games, so I don't know the story very well.
I've played I'd say 80% of the games. I haven't played like the last 3. I've played pretty much every single game up until Ocarina of Time for Nintendo 64. Unbelievable game.
My thought is it's either going to be well, I'm afraid it's going to become Wing Commander, the movie. Which, by the way, I own it. I like it because Matthew Lillard's in it. He's one of my favorite actors, but no, I mean, even a Razzie is high class for that movie.
That's not the one with Mark Hamill.
That's the video game.
Oh, okay.
The Wing Commander has Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard. Lillard.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Matthew Lillard played Todd Maniac Marshall.
Wow.
By the way, everybody's favorite director they love to hate, Uwe Boll, was the one who directed that movie.
What else has he done?
Seriously? Return of the King, the newer one. He did the one with Jason Statham. He did the newest one with Dolph Lundgren.
Wow.
If you look him up, he did Farscape? No. God, it's a game. He's done a lot of movies. And
you're talking about the TV show Farscape.
No. There's a I don't remember what it is, but he's done a lot of video game adaptations. He's done a lot of movies. If you give me a second, I'm looking him up. He's the guy that everybody just loves to hate. For a while, there was a petition online that if we get 1 million signatures, will he permanently stop making movies?
Maybe if those signatures all came with like $1.
Yeah, seriously. Just give me 1 second. Let me look it up. He did In the Name of the King 2, Barbarella, Auschwitz, Blood Rain, Rampage, Far Cry, Alone in the Dark 2.
Oh, Far Cry.
Tunnel Rats, Blood Rain, Deliverance, Postal, Alone in the Dark, House of the Dead. I mean, he's...
Deliverance and Postal?
Deliverance? Did I say Deliverance? Did I say Deliverance?
I think you said Deliverance.
I don't see where it is now, but...
all right.
Blackwood. I mean, he's done...
pretty much every crappy action movie that was made 10 years ago?
Yeah, he did all 3 Blood Rain movies.
Oh, man.
Or 4.
That should have been enough for him to never work in this town again, right?
Yeah. But it helps he's...
Only you
German.
can stop bad movies from being made, people. Don't see them. And it won't happen anymore.
It's like driving drunk. Don't let bad movies be made, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
To quote to quote my favorite cartoon of the 80s, and knowing is half the battle. So, ladies and gentlemen, I gave 7 Psychopaths a 3 out of 5. Ryan gave it a 4 out of 5. Next week, we're doing the movie that we didn't have the chance to see in the theaters. That's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
You mean the movie that we didn't have the good sense to get off our ass and go see that wonderful piece of filmmaking achievement?
I would have had to driven 45 minutes to an hour to see it. I just didn't have the time to do it.
Never mind. Forget I said it.
Yes, like I said, the next week, or this week, depending when we actually film the episode, that's the movie we're going to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Jonathan Charney, Ryan Preston, and the absent James Stevens, I'll see you next week.
They will support you. They will do referrals between clients. You can't ask for a more complete marketing package.
We love the Windfall!
And you can too. Think advertising with the Windfall couldn't get any better? Well, it just did. For only $125 for a 30-second commercial filmed by Old Guy Tech TV, you can be seen and heard.